By now, many of you all have heard about the response from President Trump in relation to Hamas. You see, because a few days ago, they were celebrating the peace effort by men and women from around the world, and hostages were finally freed. Hamas, Israel, Palestine, America, they signed off. But yet, even before the ink was dry, bombs were flying from Hamas. What, back into Gaza? And I'm sure many of you guys are saying, well, wow, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Just like I've been warning you guys, that you can't make great what you don't own. You know the old slogan, make America great? When I informed you guys that many of our assets and many of our stocks and our bonds and our forests and our farms and real estate is owned by foreign land, that you can't make great what you don't own, especially when you have $36 trillion in debt and countries like China is buying your debt. When you can't make great what you don't own, you can't make peace when your home is in pieces. God has an order about everything. And the world has been haranguing and celebrating Trump as if he's the second coming, as if he's the second coming. So now today, he makes this announcement.
Hear from President Trump. He actually just posted this on Truth Social a short time ago as he is responding to the Hamas terror group executing Palestinians in Gaza days after that ceasefire with Israel did go into effect. Trump writing on Truth Social, quote, "If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Now, among the
people, there are rules of engagement. There are rules of war. Now, I don't claim to be an expert, but I know that threats like this in the court of public opinion, when you have the United Nations and when you have countries that you sat down with a few days ago that you have an alternative to speak to, but you choose to go on a Truth Social platform, that lets me know you're operating from a basis where you know you just got punked. You were just disrespected. See, I've learned over these decades, you gotta earn respect. You just don't come in because you got military might and a few little historical accounts from history, and you make speeches to the army, and you have on your birthday celebration the same day that you celebrated the Army's 250th birthday, whatever it was, and now you go and celebrate the Navy's anniversary 2 weeks before that. You don't go overseas thinking that because you've got all this behind you, that a foreign country which in that land, they practice jihad. That many of them believe that when they fight, that they lay down their life for that religion, that Allah. It's a ticket of heaven. You think you could just go over there and just strike a deal? And arguably, and I said it in other videos, everybody wasn't at the table, baby. Everybody wasn't at the table. And you knew full well, and everybody who sat down there, and if you guys go back and look at those videos and read the faces of those who were in the background of all those at that first table with Trump sitting in the middle, and a few of you all said it in the comment section, you look at the expressions of those men. You didn't get that vibe, that feel that everything was just going to be ironed out. And like I said, less than 3 days later or 2 days later, and many of you all know I've been following this thing since the late 70s. You've seen my articles and I wrote for different newspapers and magazines. This ain't nothing new. You got to earn the respect. Earn it. You got to fix home first. Not the way Trump is doing it. Not by scooping up the homeless and we don't know where they at. No. God got an order. You look, you can't expect God to be with you. God will work with you. But if your base ain't right, and you got something this tantamount to deal with, world, global peace. If your base ain't right, if the pieces that you so-called are standing on, and the people aren't happy, of which we're really not, where you have hundreds of thousands of people would have lost their job since you came into office under waste, fraud, and abuse. If you go out to a foreign land and you've got a shutdown of your governments, what the... From what basis are you thinking that anything you do going forward, God's going to be in it? That's what I'm saying. This is a spiritual dynamic that many times Americans and people around the world, we miss. So we go and we just sign off and we celebrate. But we don't realize it's trouble at home. It's like a man working 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years at a job. And once the kids go out to college, your wife leaves you. But you never paid attention because there was trouble at home. You can't make great what you don't own. And you can't make peace when everything around you is in pieces. Maybe that's why the Bible says, when they say peace, peace, it's sudden destruction. Maybe it's more than just the lies and the deceit on that level. Maybe this thing is in relation to how you treating folks, Pharaoh. Maybe we back, not only in the garden, maybe we back in the Egyptian times, where you got us making everything that you want. Working a job and a half or 2 jobs and check to check, or trying to figure out which bill to pay this month. And you running around saying everything gonna be all right. When the truth is, grocery prices are up. The cost of living is up. And we don't know from day to day the hundreds of thousands of people which have lost their job since Doge and you. If we next. Did they just not announce today, as they were negotiating this possible end to the shutdown, that $5 billion have been spent on illegals? America, America. And now you want to lump in the illegal dollar factor with the budget and say, well, that's the main reason we can't go ahead and pass the budget. Thus, we still have the government shutdown, because you haven't promised Democrats, we don't see it crystal clear, that when you have this Obamacare, you're not going to take care of the illegals. And Americans are saying, well, wait a minute. What about us? You ain't got sense enough that if we spent $5 billion on the illegals, you put that to the side and pass a budget for us, and you can deal with that illegal thing later. But you going overseas, and now you Prince of Peace. Make that make sense. Your house is in pieces. So when I hear about the bombs going off in Hamas, it's because I don't think God got your back, Trump. I don't think God got your back. There was a black rapper back in the day. He made it very fundamentally clear, as elementary as possible. You got money for wars, but you can't feed the poor. How do you feed people? How do you create an environment where the blessings of the Bible come to life? That is, be fruitful and multiply. You too busy developing AI and some damn computer and some robot that arguably is going to be taking half our jobs in the future. That's your priority, Trump. Yet you're passing all these executive orders. We don't know what's in the package. National Guard in the street, smoke bombing people, running up in people's businesses, hunting people down like animals because your intel says they're illegal. Is this how you administrate? And you want Hamas to respect you as a president? Are you kidding me? They're looking at you like your stuff is falling apart. Your stuff stink, Trump. We don't respect you. You can treat your Americans like that, but you didn't have us at the table. So we going on with our plan. That's why the bombs keep going, y'all. Because everybody wasn't at the table. And when you drill down to it, y'all know that. America's bark is bigger than its bite. But it ain't nothing but a setup. It's a setup. Allegedly, Trump knew it wasn't going to work because he knows now he can have a bigger reaction because the whole plan is WW3. He's talking against it, but his strategy will cause WW3. Understand the game. We being played. We losing now. Hamas knows it. Other countries know it, but we ain't figured it out. And the media is complicit in selling the lie, the front that Donald Trump is exhibiting or trying to. He's a salesman. So you get on social media. I'm going to kill you. Fire one more bomb, Hamas. And like I told you, if we ever engage on that level and he's unalived, he don't give a damn. He gonna be gone. They're gonna stage another July 13th. Then we're gonna try to pick up the pieces. Then they're gonna deceive us again and put us in a global world order. Obama, please save us. That's what's coming. Anytime you build something on a lie, you cannot expect God to be with you. The man said he was going to make America great. But all I see is investment is in technology with a promise that it's going to be good later on. Meeting with all these world leaders at the White House, or he going to see them. They're setting up a world order. Open up your eyes. He's more concerned about the world order and AI than he is about national. Listen. He's more concerned about the cosmetics of the White House and changing this and rearranging furniture and bringing up old paintings out the cellar of the basement of the White House and hanging. He's more concerned about the aesthetics in the White House than he is about your house and my house. We've had 9 months to watch him. And you tell me how we benefit. Other than a few nuggets out of the stock market. But most poor folks and middle class folk ain't playing stock. They ain't got no dividends. So please tell me how that's affecting you in a positive way. And your neighbor who had that $75,000 to $200,000 government job, now they unemployed. Tell me how that's making America great. Because they decide what's waste, fraud, and abuse. When they got all these government contracts buying every explosive and tank and helmet and belt and boots and smoke bombs, hiring all these different National Guards from around the United States. The money is in tech. The money is in computers. The money is in armed forces. The reinvestment is not into us. So don't you be fooled about some so-called peace. He ain't delivering no peace. Only God delivers peace. This should allow you to look into the heart and soul of Donald Trump. Because all he knows is bullets and bonds and progress for tech. talks about families, talk a good game. And now he wants to annihilate somebody. When he knew full well the strategy wasn't going to work. See, they want it all. They want the whole region. In my humble opinion, they want the whole region. They're not trying to make peace. They want to draw them in to progress the war. And then they want your sons and daughters, my sons and daughters, to go over there and fight. That's what they really want. They knew it would fall apart. They never asked Jesus, and they never asked us if Jesus gave them the green light. Because you and I would have asked one fundamental question. What's in it for us? Will we have peace and safety? Starting here first, Trump, then over there? God blesses in segments. If there's anything that you learn when you get older, God blesses gradually. He blesses in segments. Very, very few times he just overwhelmingly blesses you. He has to try you, he has to spoon feed you. Because every time God gives you something, he wants to see just how appreciative you are of the blessing he gave you. And if you can show accountability and appreciation by what he's done for you, and then you bless someone else, he starts building upon that. And from that basis, you then bless someone and bless some people, then he bless you again. But if you just up and take your Air Force One over there saying, I got a blessing for you, but you ain't built it from something, that's what I mean. You can't make great what you don't own. And you can't make peace when you didn't nurture it. Because Americans are suffering. Thus, you revert to this verbal that you're going to go over there and kill them. Because you know they have no respect for you. They believe in their religious belief. They believe it. They die for it, which means it's a part of their being. And they've worked for generations and built upon that. And they drill it in their offspring. In America, we're so diverse. We're not that devout when it comes down to religion. Just saying. They eat, drink, and breathe it. Praying 3, 4, 5 times a day. You can criticize all what I'm saying, but when you know the region, their religion is their life. And so that's how they grow and that's how they develop. We, as a society, we're too diverse. We're too different to be in one accord. And when we are, we're still separated. We haven't learned. And our presidents, our so-called leaders, they haven't learned either. So as they say in the street, you can't practice what you don't preach. You can't practice peace, Trump. It's not in your nature.